working with angles. The first thing you must check is that your calculator is in degrees. That means along this top panel here, there'll be a little d. Yes? What could be in it instead of it? There could be an R, or a G, or a D, or that. Now, degrees means your calculator is set into degree mode. So when we do some of these, if it's not set in degree mode, you'll get the wrong answer, so you better tell me. Right? You can first of all look up the sine of an angle. You could look up the sine of 45 degrees is equal to. You'll hit sine 45 is equal to, should get 0.7071. You don't get that, your calculator isn't set in the degrees. Right? If you looked up the sine of 60 degrees, your calculator should give 0.866. Now who leads a sad life? Huh? Any questions so far? Right? If you're looking up the tan of 30 degrees, your calculator might say 1 over the square root of 3. Yes? And then if you put s to d, you can put 1 over the square root of d, 1 over the square root of 3 into a decimal. Although I don't use it in a decimal too often. What's it as a decimal? 0.5? 0.573. All right. Who teaches you English? All right. You'll have to talk more clearly. Right. What about now? In every degree there is 60 minutes. What about the sine of 40 degrees, 35 minutes? Now we have a degrees in minutes button. See that button? Yes, it's right here. See it there? All right, so to do that, you have to hit sine, yes, 40 degrees in minutes, 35 degrees in minutes is equal to. And you will get 0.6505. Do you understand that? All right? So, what about the cosine of 72 degrees, 18 minutes? See if you can get the right answer to that. So you get cosine 72 degrees a minute, 18 degrees a minute is equal to. You got points. .304. Do you understand how to look them up? All right, now look at this. Most people are good at doing that. What about, look at this, if I told you that the sine of some angle A was 0.5. Now you're looking for what's the angle. The sine of 30 degrees is 0.5. To work back the ways, you'll say A is equal to the sine inverse of 0.5. And to do that in your calculator, you'll hit shift and then the sine button. Right? So to do that, you hit the shift button first, then you hit the sine button. But when you hit shift, written on the body of your calculator is sine inverse. And that's equal to then. You put in 0.5 is equal to, and it'll give you 30 degrees. If I said to you the cosine of some angle B is equal to 0.7071, you would say b is equal to the cosine inverse of 0.7071. And what does that give you? 45 degrees. If I said to you the tan of C is equal to 2.5784, you'd say C is equal to the tan inverse of 2.5784, which is 68.801 degrees. Yes? Now convert that into degrees and minutes. So if you now have on your calculator 68.801, yes? Okay, now if you want to put that into degrees and minutes, that's 68 degrees and 48 minutes. And how do you go from, that's it in decimal, and that's it in what? Degrees and minutes. How do you go from one to the other? How do you go from a decimal to degrees and minutes? You just hit the degrees and minutes button. It's like an hour. An hour has how many minutes in it? 60. The 1 degree has how many minutes in it? 60 minutes in a degree. That's the way it's broken down. Now it can be given in decimals. If I said to you a quarter of an hour, how many minutes would that be? 15 minutes, yes? Because it's a quarter of 60. And it's the same thing. But the degrees and minutes button will calculate each way for you. Now, you seem to